Greetings. The title of this video is Struggles with Asperger's. Um, and the reason I'm making this video is of twofold. One, I am hoping it might help people who kind of struggle with the condition of Asperger's or on the autistic, or if they're on the autistic spectrum, or loved ones that are around them. And the second is just as a way for me to process kind of from therapy. um, so struggles with Asperger's. I don't have this video structured in any way. I've never really edited or structured my videos. It's usually just whatever comes out of me. Maybe in the future I might do a better job at structuring the video, and so it'd be more articulated and more kind of well thought out and formed out. The struggles, I do I have as many struggles with Asperger's than it is as when I was younger? No, but there's still some that's still prevalent. Many involving trying to understand why people do certain things, and I usually get frustrated because I kind of tend to see things in a straight line, and my observation of how other people do things is just tends to be the opposite at times, and it tends to lead to unnecessary complications than simply if you were to do something that would bring more balance, more peace, and more joy, and more productivity and creativity. I so it's that like a clash of how people interact with each other, and then the the unforeseen circumstances that things out of control, which all of us have to deal with. But with someone on the spectrum, it's even way harder when there's sudden change of plans, or if there's things in the head might have not gone the way it did. When interacting with someone at something. Well, mostly for me, it's the social interaction with people I struggle with the most. Try my best to be understanding as I can. There's a couple of things that I am personally myself I'm not good at is setting boundaries, prioritising myself, and kind of finding the balance is something I struggle with, and being very extremely trusting to a point. It comes at a cost. So if you came to me in person, said anything to me about yourself, I would think that what you're telling me is true, because I tend to like to give people the benefit of the doubt a lot. I don't think that people are so wicked and evil to a point where they would deceive you, especially when they consistently especially when you consistently help them things. You will not think they'll do something stupid as to compromise things, or to make things harder for themselves. But sadly, reality is there's many things outside of your control, and for someone on the spectrum that it's very hard to come to terms with. Death is something very hard to come to terms with, especially if you had a close loved one that passed away, and it's hard for you to process that, and it's things like that. It's small little things. Over the day, it's very hard for someone that is a struggle with Asperger's, but it's mostly just the interaction with people on a daily basis. It's like the best way I can only describe it personally, it's like a minefield. I often have to be careful what comes out of my mouth, and I have to be very careful of what people say, and if that did not get dragged into things that could lead to further complications. So I personally try and stay out of things best I can, because when I end up getting stuck in a quagmire of situations, it ends up badly. So that's conflict. Reading social cues, very difficult. Trying to understand why people do certain things that, from my perspective, seems to be just silly. It's hard to process. So that it's just the way this world is very disorderly, chaotic, and I more thrive on peace, contentment, order, and hence why I like spending most of my time by myself. I'm not spontaneous. I don't like being spontaneous. It's not really, I tend to do a lot of, but I try to avoid it. I have more structure and all that leads to more safety and security, than to blindly do stuff. Even though I did do that a lot, it's more so a reaction to things I do it. Deep down inside, I don't like doing that. I like taking initiative in things, but to me that's somewhat different than being spontaneous. Maybe it's a similarity between the two, but yeah, struggles with Asperger's is mostly interaction, how you interact with other people. It's sensory overload. I like loud noises, smell, you've heightened touch, you've for instance, just me personally, even though I'm wearing this t-shirt now, it's like pricks of I don't know, things, like needles, pricks and needles. I feel on my skin, so I have very heightened senses of skin. So like it's very uncomfortable. So I could even take a shower, wear clothes, and it still would itch. It still would like pinch, like needles. So my skin is heightened, sensitive to things. Even the slightest touch, I feel more. Hearing is more heightened. Sight is heightened. Everything is heightened, especially hearing, and that leads to complications. Because if you're in a big group of people, it's very hard. I don't like being in groups of people. I get a bit anxious. So you'll never see me inside like big groups of people. So yeah, sensory overload. People, how they interact with each other. So there's that as well. So it's also the whole thing where it's the whole human emotions, the body language. I'm thinking better at it now than it was years ago, but that is also a struggle with someone who's autistic or Asperger's. It's a struggle to maintain and keep friendships. Is a challenge. To connect with others can be a challenge, and especially in a world that's always changing, and it's hard. To form bonds with people is quite hard. For people to be understanding is quite hard. Find people that are understanding. I try my best to be as understanding as I can be to those around me, and at times I fear that. At times I may go over too board to be being too understanding, to a point where it's kind of find a balance of being understanding but not. How do I word this? Not taking responsibilities on others aren't you, and not like setting clear boundaries. So you could be understanding, but to understanding to a point. Like if someone's consistently giving you abuse, consistently just being a drain on you, or consistently bringing you down, or just making things harder for themselves and you tolerate that, then that's on you. Then the consequences of it. Speaking from personal experience. So you have to set clear boundaries, you have to communicate. Communication is something that I personally struggle with, because I tend to be avoidant. I don't like to have to say something to someone unless it has to be said, because a lot of times when I speak up my mind, and just you have to, like, people being emotional negative, you have people gaslighting, and you've all these things you have to deal with, where I'm just trying to communicate my emotions to someone, that to explain to them that their actions, or why their actions is unacceptable. And just using simple point that if it's the other way around, you surely will not tolerate such behaviour. And yeah, so there's that as well as communication. There's other things about, dating and trying to find someone to connect with, and there's all that other stuff as well. There's a whole variety of things someone with Asperger's struggle with, but it's just the way the world is formed, basically, and how this is just like unwritten rules and things that aren't explained. Because unless you explain something, say for me personally, unless you explain something to me, I won't. It'll take me ages for me to figure it out. so you have to, it's just the way my learning style is. Like, if you explain something to me in detail, I will get it. If you show it to me, I will get it. But for me to suddenly just know it like that, I'd be there for ages trying to figure it out. I'm better than was years ago, but it's like to learn. I learn from observing someone. I learn from doing things. But if someone like just said for me to do something, it's I do find it hard. But I'm better at it now than I was years ago. But yeah, the struggles of Asperger is just like a lot of struggles. There's so much that I could make like a lot of video on it. But I do hope that this video is of a help for people who have these type of traits and things. And personally myself, I don't like the whole. I try the best. If you meet me in person, I avoid the whole labelling of Asperger's and all these other conditions like ADHD or what have you. There's just like different conditions that everyone has one form of another. It's part of just being human, and it's very important for that not to become like an identity, because that itself can be bad. So it's kind of find a balance of that, of I do this saying this Asperger's just so that it might help people to understand, and that's the main reason why I do it. Otherwise I just see someone as a human being, a loved one, and everyone has like traits and things they struggle with and difficulty, and it's trying the best to be understanding as you can towards the other person. Yeah, and to find the balance as well between, like, for me now, I'm very childlike in the way I do things and see things. I just want to care or love others, and I get frustrated when other people don't do likewise. I just want people to be truthful, and I get very frustrated when they're not. I like people to be honest, I get very frustrated when they're not. I don't like games, and I get very frustrated when people play games. I mean by games, there's people not being dishonest. They put masks. I get frustrated when they put on masks. Now, when I mean masks, I mean that like in a spiritual kind of sense. They hide who they are out of fear of someone else. Now, every human does that. They change their behaviour and things, and that can be quite frustrating. Because I could talk to a person and they'll talk something differently, and I just find it frustrating. So yeah, there's a lot of struggles I suppose, a lot with this condition. But I do hope this video was a blessing was of a help. Another thing as well, that I tend to ramble on a lot when just go whoop everything out. That's another thing. To kind of know when to talk and when to stop, and that's another kind of struggle people Asperger's do, when to talk, and then they go, okay, do I talk now or do I remain silent? It's kind of to judge that when you talk with someone, when they're talking, and then you just get a split second, okay, I can talk now, or do I talk? And it's just like listening and then talking and waiting. Okay, no, I just talk a bit. When to listen, when to talk, and it's kind of the dance of that. Communication as well can be a struggle as well, plus many other things. Anyway, thanks for watching this video.